Insights of All Trades podcast.
So after high school, I went to film school in North Carolina. I went to the University of North Carolina School of the Arts in Winston-Salem. Didn't care for that too much. I don't know. We don't need to go too deep into that. But I finished out my first year and decided not to go back, and then moved here to Pittsburgh. And I've been working on my own projects and also some union gigs to kind of make ends meet, if you will.
Yeah. So what are those union gigs that you're talking about?
So that would be like the Netflix show Mindhunter. Mm-hmm. I've done a few days on some other shows, commercials, and there's like some NBC shows. A lot of stuff is filmed in Pittsburgh. And once you kind of get into the industry that way, it's kind of hard to get out. People need assistance and whatnot. And so it's really easy to kind of jump around and do that. Also something that I wasn't a big fan of, but I did do the second half of the first season of Mindhunter and then the entirety of the second season in the office. I wasn't on set too much, but just kind of working that way, you know. I got to meet David Fincher, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is cool.
That was the highlight of those like 3 years on that show, but...
So, do you think you'll be with Mindhunter if they do another season after this?
I don't think they're coming back to Pittsburgh.
You don't think? Okay.
Yeah, I think the third season's going to be in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I don't really want to move out to LA.
Yeah.
So
fair enough. Yeah, I listened to your one podcast you had. I think it was your third one, where you were talking about moving to LA with one of your friends that did move out there.
Yeah.
And you were basically saying how you didn't think you would end up out there and you liked it here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't want to have to move out there until I have to move out there. Okay. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've honestly never been to Los Angeles, but I don't know if it's quite my speed, you know?
Yeah.
Is there a difference in film culture in Pittsburgh versus LA?
There's just a lot more opportunity in Los Angeles. Like Gotcha. Here, I mean, yes. So there is a wildly different film culture. But Los Angeles there's a lot more money there. Mm-hmm. That's the big thing.
Yeah, it's like people end up going to LA to do that, it seems like.
Yeah.
Whereas here, maybe it's more side projects or there's one main focus like Mindhunters here in town. Or...
Yeah, that's a lot of it. I think that, I mean, people live here. And so there are people who are interested in film and they make films because this is where they are. But also, yeah, like Mindhunter, and there's another Netflix show in town right now and another movie coming, and there's all this stuff. And that helps a lot of the people who are working here, like in the industry. But, you know, mostly they bring in outside, like department heads from LA or New York or whatever.
So how did you go about getting wrapped up in like Netflix shows and things like that around here?
So... In the summer of 2016, my girlfriend and I went on a big, like, 6-week road trip around the country. We went to 22 national parks or something. And we came back.
I was going to ask you about that because I saw your video on YouTube about it. It looked pretty cool. You guys went all over the place.
Yeah, it was really fun. We just kind of got in our car and left. We really didn't have a plan at all. We just knew which parks we wanted to see. And so we just put it in the GPS, went to that park, and then figured it out from there. But yeah, so that was about 6 weeks, and it drained my savings account 100%. Like, I literally got back to Pittsburgh with maybe $100 in my bank account. And so I had to get a job, and I really lucked out. I was like going to interviews for Target and Barnes and Noble and, like, you know, shitty retail jobs. Mm-hmm. But I lucked out. I knew a friend from working on another short film, and they needed another production assistant in the office on Mindhunter, and since just because I knew the guy, basically I got the job.
Okay. Is that how a lot of the film industry goes?
It's really who you know. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, once you get like a decent, I mean, it's 100% who you know. Mm-hmm. You have to build your resume just by like working with the same people pretty much, and then you can kind of branch out from there. But it's hard to get a job if you are, you know, a nobody, if you will.
So how do you make that first step from nobody to somebody that knows somebody?
Yeah, I mean, for me, when I first moved here, I didn't know anybody in Pittsburgh, except for my girlfriend who I was living with. But I had to, I worked on a lot of people's films for free, just helping out. Okay. I went to some like local film festivals and just kind of networked, I guess. And, you know, people always need help doing random things. And so I met my coworker Zach on a just random web series shoot, or it was a short film, and and we just kind of hit it off and hung out most of that night instead of like actually helping. But yeah, then he was already kind of in that world and pulled me into it, and I'm just now like trying to crawl out. So yeah.